I was so nervous. I was really incredibly nervous. And also, I didn't think I was going to get the part. I thought, oh, there's no way. I'm English. There's no way. I remember thinking, oh, they'll cast like Winona Ryder or Uma Thurman. Like, why would they cast me? I read with Matthew McConaughey. He read for Jack, so we auditioned together. That was such a crazy experience. He was lovely. I remember him being really nice and really funny.
Ultimately, James Cameron chose Leonardo DiCaprio, who at the time was already an Oscars and Golden Globe nominated actor, to play the role of Jack Dawson.
He was just the right guy for the gig. You know, of course, he didn't necessarily think he was the right guy for the gig.
On Leonardo DiCaprio's first day on set, they shot the drawing scene where Kate Winslet lays naked in front of him. In reality, the famous sketch was drawn by James Cameron, and the hand you see belongs to the director. But since James Cameron is left-handed and Leonardo DiCaprio is right-handed, the image had to be flipped in post-production.
Titanic was probably single-handedly the most incredible movie experience I've ever had in my life.
Cameron only had one chance to film some of the flooding scenes. For the flooding of the Grand Staircase and the destruction of the glass dome, about 119,000 gallons of water were poured on set. And if you look at the clock in the Grand Staircase, it says 2:15 a.m. It's almost fully submerged. In fact, that was pretty accurate. Scientists had proven that the ship sank at 2:20 a.m.
I really felt that it was a mission and a responsibility to get it right, to do as well as we could, almost as if we could somehow look back through a time window or go back in time and see what was really happening. So we spent a lot of time on the kind of forensic analysis to kind of figure out what was happening during the flooding and the breakup of the ship.
The shipwreck scenes were physically challenging for the actors. They spent hours submerged in 60-degree water. Kate Winslet got hypothermia while filming some of those scenes. James Cameron himself also had to spend time in the water.
He was first in the water, last out. That was huge. He never asked anyone to do anything he wouldn't.
To prepare for the shoot, James Cameron participated in 12 diving sessions to see the real Titanic shipwreck during the summer of 1995.
We sent our little robot camera down inside the ship and photographed things that people hadn't seen since the ship sank.
Construction of the studio set and the life-size ship replica in a 17 million gallon tank began on May 31st, 1996 in Mexico. It was extremely important for Cameron that every detail in the movie reflect real-life events as accurately as possible.
Some of the carpet that was in the dining room was actually spun off of the original pattern, I'm told, from the company that made the carpeting for the Titanic, which is pretty impressive.
More than 1,000 extras were hired to shoot the scene where Rose sees the ship for the first time at the port of Southampton.
And action!
The shoot went way over budget, and the production team pressured Cameron to cut some scenes out. The director had to give up his $8 million salary.
We basically reached a point, partway through the shooting where the cost of physically creating the ship had gone far beyond what we thought it was going to. Creating it, building it, lighting it, finishing it, and getting it to physically function where it would move up and down in the tank. All of these things wound up costing more. But the thing was, at that point, there was not much any of us could do, because just taking out one scene or two scenes or 5 scenes would not have made that much difference. You still needed the damn ship.
After 7 long months of filming, post-production also dragged out, and the movie release, which was supposed to be in the summer of 1997, ended up being closer to Christmas that year. During the premiere screenings, all anyone could talk about was the $200 million budget, which was double the initial budget. The stakes were extremely high.
There are many films that we all love and cherish throughout film history that would cost at least this much if you filmed them in 1997. And that's the thing that people need to keep in mind.
For Titanic to break even, it would have to be one of the 5 or 10 best performing films of all time. But again, that's possible in this case.
The movie was an instant success. Titanic was #1 at the box office, grossing $28 million in its first weekend, surpassing James Bond Tomorrow Never Dies. 25 years later, Titanic still ranks in the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time.